this session, we discussed malarial transmission, complement pathway against fungal infection, malarial parasites, life cycle, and then host immune system by Trypanosoma brucei and ringworm, prolonged immunosuppression, fungal morphogenesis, salivarian and stercorarian models of transmission, and Plasmodium falciparum is most virulent. Then Trypanosoma brucei life cycle infection. And so the assignment questions for this week were these. So in context of malarial transmission, which of the following statements accurately describes the role of the sporozoid? It is the infective form found in the bloodstream of the host. It is formed during sexual reproduction phase in the mosquito. It is the form that invades the liver cells after being inoculated by the mosquito. It causes clinical manifestations of malaria. It undergoes asexual multiplication in erythrocytes. So we have discussed which one would be the correct answer here. And next is which complement pathway is particularly more important against fungal infection. We have discussed which of these pathways, whether the classical, alternate, lectin, out of these, which one are more important against fungal. So next was which phase of malarial parasite's life cycle is primarily responsible for causing clinical symptoms in humans. So we discussed different stages of the malarial parasite life cycle. So which one is responsible for causing clinical symptoms in case of whether it is liver stage, gametocyte stage, sporozoid stage, erythrocytic cycle, or Ugnate stage? Choose the correct answer. And which of the following factors contribute to the evasion of host immune system by Trypanosoma brucei? So this also we discussed whether it is VSG switching or production of superantigens or intracellular replication or induction of host apoptosis, stress-induced release of cyclic AMP. So which of the following factors contribute? We have discussed antigenic variation, formation of biofilms, inhibition, and cytokinesis. We discussed what are all the correct options in this. And next question is which of the following is the cause of ringworm infection? Whether it is a bacterial infection or a viral infection or a fungal infection, or is it a parasitic because of the name ringworm, but we discussed what exactly causes it. Then how does prolonged immunosuppression affect the host response? In case it enhances the immune regulation, reducing the fungal virulence, or it weakens the antiviral defenses while sparing the antibacterial immunity, or it disrupts the multiple immune pathways, increasing the susceptibility, or it mainly compromises bacterial immunity with minimal fungal impact. It induces protective compensatory immune response, or no, the answer is incorrect. So, whatever is the correct option, I think we discussed it regarding prolonged immunosuppression and its effects on host. Then what next question is what does the term fungal morphogenesis refer to in context of virulence? So we discussed fungal morphogenesis, whether the ability of fungi to photosynthesize or the changes in the physical structure of fungi that enhance their pathogenicity, or whether it's the genetic makeup of the fungal species, or the classification of fungus based on the reproductive methods, or the interaction between fungi and other microorganisms. I hope we discussed this. And next was we discussed the salivarian mode of transmission, discussed the stercorarian modes of transmission, and then which infection has these modes of transmission, whether it's malaria, whether it's trypanosoma, whether it's leishmania, whether it's streptococcus or cryptococcus neoformans. Other than this, the next question is which Plasmodium species is most commonly associated with severe malaria and high mortality rate? So we discussed various malarial, that is the Plasmodial species, Plasmodium vivax, Plasmodium malariae, Plasmodium ovale, and Plasmodium falciparum, and also Plasmodium knowlesi. So we discussed which among these is the most severe and has high mortality rates amongst others. So this is done. So next is which statements are true regarding life cycle and infection process of Trypanosoma brucei. So we discussed the life cycle and infection process of Trypanosoma brucei. So we can select all the correct answers that apply here. We discussed the options. So the parasite can only survive in human hosts. The metacyclic uh, trip, tri, trypanomastigote is injected into humans through the tsetse fly bite, and the infection progresses through two distinct stages with symptomatic and neurological symptoms. Trypanosoma brucei has a simple life cycle involving only one host. The parasite's genetic adaptability is largely due to its unique mitochondrial DNA. It is primarily transmitted through contaminated water sources, or understanding the life cycle is crucial for developing effective control measures. The presence of surface glycoprotein variations complicates immune system. So we discussed what all options among these are true and what are not, and why they are not. So I think we discussed all of the exam questions here. Yeah, we discussed the malarial transmission and what are the correct options and what are not the correct options. Then we also discussed the complement pathway against fungal infections. Then we discussed the malarial parasite's life cycle and primarily responsible for clinical symptoms, which stage among all these. Then we discussed the basic outline of the life cycle. Then we also discussed what factors contribute the evasion of the host immune system by Trypanosoma brucei, and why the others are less relevant or incorrect. Then we discussed what ringworm infection is, which causes the ringworm infection, then types of other ringworm infection, their symptoms, etc. Then, excuse me. Then the treatment options for it. Then we also discussed about the prolonged immunosuppression. Then how it affects the host response, and also fungal morphogenesis. Yeah, so fungal morphogenesis and why it's important, how it is important for the virulence of the fungi, and how in several ways, and then what are the salivarian and stercorarian modes of transmission, and which organism uses these both modes. And then we also discussed the Plasmodium falciparum is the most virulent amongst all the other Plasmodium species. Then we also discussed the correct statements regarding the life cycle and infection process of Trypanosoma brucei, and why the other statements are incorrect. So I think we covered all the questions.